The other thing is, I mean, Rod mentioned the fact that the public sector is changing and that there are changes happening in Spain, but we all know they're happening very, very slowly. It's going to be a whole generation before there's enough teachers who are confident enough with their own English to be able to teach CLIL, for example, in the state schools. So the public sector, which could exert a pressure on private schools to change, probably won't in the short term, at least, because it's not changing. So why should the why should the private sector change? And then, of course, there's a general skepticism. I mean, anybody, again, who's seen the come and go of things like language laboratories or other kinds of technologies is skeptical about investing in technology in a massive way because they wonder it's going to be obsolete in another 2 years, or is it, how much is it going to cost in terms of the upgrade? It's expensive. And of course, there's a fear of change. People don't like changing. People are afraid of technology. So these are some of the reasons why we may not see rapid change, or as rapid change as has been predicted. These are the inertia factors. But there's some good reasons, I think, to be skeptical of the pressure to feel that we ought to change. And these are what we've called, well, the reasons not to change. And one of them is that private language schools fulfill a number of functions, and not purely educational. They are centres where people go for social purposes. They go because they feel good about getting out of the house and doing something which is self-improvement. They may be also going to classes in taekwondo or whatever, but they're places where they send their children to be kind of minded while they're still at work. They fulfill many functions which cannot be necessarily replaced by some of the technological innovations, certainly the social function. And that may not be a bad thing. And I think people know in their heart of hearts that, what we call the default model, the model that a teacher in a room with some students, face-to-face teaching, is the kind of basic model of education which has always worked. So why should we want to change it now? Why should we be replacing it with online learning, with conferencing, with video, with Skype, etc.? It's a good one in the sense that it's proven and it's what people expect. And I think not only that they like to go to classes which are timetabled, and they know they have to be there at a point in time. I mean, they don't like it, but any model of a language school which offers, just come and go as you please has never really worked. People come and go. It's like the gym syndrome. You come and go for, a couple of months after New Year, and then that's it. You get fed up because you don't notice any improvement. There may well be the case that there's no reason for schools to change because the technology, in fact, will be happening outside. And I think Rod referred to this. The technology, it seems to be many of the advantages of it, the benefits of it, are that it provides the means to carry on learning outside the classroom and to create a community of learners that can communicate with each other on a global level if need be. And I think this is a very positive thing that technology can offer. But it may, in fact, have the result that it means that the language school can become a kind of pit stop where people go in not to use more technology, but to simply to do things that they can't do online, which is to talk to people face to face. In other words, to create a social space for using language for the purposes for which it was originally designed. So that's the notion that technology may, in fact, have the benefit of leaving the classroom free for this kind of real human interaction. And also there's the questions of expense. Investment in technology and training is enormous. However much that will go down, they'll be always inventing new technology which will be expensive and which will be compelled to buy, or software which will go with it, or the upgrades, etc. So those are some of the reasons why we feel that we need to be a little bit skeptical about the pressure to change. That the classroom is not necessarily, or the private language school is not going to disappear, certainly not overnight, for reasons that are negative, the inertia reasons that I mentioned, but also reasons which I think are positive. And I think we need to feel, we need to value the fact that private language schools fulfill a very important function in society and in education, and this society in particular. And a lot of very good things happen in private language schools. And we shouldn't feel sort of, ashamed of the fact that they do exist, and then there may be a model which is worth perpetuating, albeit with taking on board the benefits of technology to continue the educational process outside the classroom. So this is our view of the teacher of the future. She's no different from the teacher of the past. Okay, thanks very much.